I have a client, for example, she's eating with her boyfriend every Friday and Saturday. So what I told her is Sunday to Thursday, you can eat by the plan. We worked out together. And Friday, Saturday evening, you don't even track calories at all. You eat what you want, drink wine, doesn't matter.
Welcome to the Swiss Made Success channel. Please make sure to subscribe and turn on the notifications for life-changing inspiration. And now, enjoy the interview. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. This is the Stairway to Excellent podcast. And today I have back one of my favorite guests. He's a fitness coach, nutritionist, Tedx Speaker and Motivator, podcast host, and a great inspiration. Welcome to my friend, Charlie Rüffieux. Coach Charles.
Thank you, man. Thank you, man. Sounds so nice, man. I'm flattered. Thank you.
Awesome. Amazing. Glad to have you back, bro. Last time I had you here, it was 1 year ago.
Yeah.
That was an amazing interview, and that's why I wanted to have you back. Let's get into it straight away. So now you're working on helping people lose weight on fitness and everything. Generally speaking, what is your approach to helping people lose weight?
Oh man, it's a good question. I would say it's very individual. The biggest mistake people make is they think in black and white. So they either eat carbs or not. They either do 5 times a week a workout or not. And for my clients, it's basically I need to deprogram this stuff out of their mind and put the basics in there, because people just forget the basics, calorie management, enough protein, enough vitamins, enough movement. And it's more about my accountability as a coach and getting their bad habits out of the system and putting good habits in there. So something I talk a lot about is consistency beats perfection. So you don't need the best plan, but you need to be consistent. And if you are consistent, that's when your plan almost becomes like the best approach. So I do my best to find a strategy for each client that helps them to achieve their goals without really neglecting anything and without crazy diets. And I also teach them my approach, so they get the basics taught and then they can do it themselves. So you could argue maybe it's not the best business model, because after 6 months or 1 year, people can do it on their own. But I think it's way better, because then these people will refer new people. Because let's say one of my clients, Sukaina, she sent me her transformation today. And she wants to have a kid, and now she's going to have a kid probably next year or this year. And she's going to teach her kid, because now she knows. It's just like a ripple effect of building a legacy, which is very beautiful.
That's great, man. So you also your client, you're sending you all the people because of the quality that they're reaching, right?
Yeah. That's also, I even give them money. If they send me a client, I give them, I think 15%, I'm like abundance mindset. What do you think happens if I give every one of my clients, $400 or $500 every time they refer me a client? I'm like, here, take $500. You're like, oh, you know what I mean? It's just more. I never run out of clients with that mindset, because what do most coaches do? Scarcity. I don't want to share my secrets. I don't want to do this, blah, blah, blah. I share my secrets, my business secrets even. I don't care. The more successful you make other people, the more successful you become. 100%.
That's right. And abundance, that's a great topic. Let's go straight sideways. And I would love to talk a little about abundance mindset. And
man.
What brought you to think like this?
Oh, that's a crazy story. Owen Cook. He was always a huge nerd about life. How do you become successful in life? In all major life areas like relationships, social life, health, wellness, and career, business, money. And he said, what distinguishes the really high level people from the low level people that don't make that much money, and people that make much money, or people that have their dream life and people that don't have the dream life, is the mindset. And one big part is just the abundance mindset. Someone that is a millionaire already, or better say, you start to think like a millionaire before you're actually a millionaire. You know what I mean? And these people that live in complete abundance. So if you can start to live in abundance, you will automatically reinforce that mindset and create this abundant life. But I need to go back a little bit. How did I create this? It's a good question, because I did. How can I say this? One thing, I always said thank you for everything that people gave me. I was always very grateful. Hey, thank you for this, thank you for that. And then people always gave me more, gave me stuff for free. And then I started to like refer people to other people, refer people to another business, you know, or let's say in dating, you know, let's say I meet a cool girl, but I doesn't vibe with her that much, you know, I refer her to my friend and she becomes his girlfriend. What is she gonna do? She's gonna be like, oh, Charles is a cool guy, you know, let me present him 5 of my girlfriends. You know what I mean? It's the same in every part of life. And as soon as you go there, as you achieve that mindset, it's almost like a self-fulfilling prophecy. But I would say the hardest part is to come from scarcity into abundance. As soon as you are in abundance, it's easy to stay there. But to go there is like the hardest part. And I feel like society is kind of programming us to think in scarcity. You know, if you ask normal people about business, for example, you ask them about investing, they think, oh yeah, if I invest money, if I make money, someone else loses. I'm like, it doesn't make sense, man. Money is getting printed every day. You know what I mean? Like there's enough money for everyone. So it's kind of weird that people still think in these scarcity terms.
You know, when you talk about money, I also remember myself. I'm coming from times of I had challenges with money, and you know, like that was a generational thing. So, you know, like I went when I was like 27, 28, and I was asking myself, you know, like, yeah, I think like, you know, I'm pretty intelligent guy. So why I don't have a lot of money?
Yeah, same here. Yeah, I thought the same. Yeah.
You know, so like then I started like to study these guys, Robert Kiyosaki, Tony Robbins, and you know, all the guys that teach also about financial freedom, right? So since then, when I became aware, like one of them, I don't remember who says, but you know, the importance is in the transaction. For example, when I give money, let's say to pay a bill or something, I mentally decide to pay it. I'm really happy to pay this bill. Or I'm really happy to pay for this course, for, you know, for this Weiterbildung. Or I just got to find, you know, somewhere in the traffic or something. I said, I'm really happy to pay it.
That's a good one. Yeah.
So that in that moment, my relationship with money becomes great.
I love that's so funny you say this. Same change for me the last couple of months. Since I make more money and I reached my revenue goal for 2021 already in June, I was paying the stuff. I was like, I'm happy to pay these people. I'm happy to pay taxes. You know, I was like happy. Back in the days when I had less money, I was almost afraid to log into my bank account and to open my you know invoices. And now the whole mindset just changed because I know it's coming back always. You know, it's just coming, and you know, it's a certain flow.
Yeah, that's only one side of life, but I think in everything, right? It's like if you put, as you said before, in relationships, like when you go with scarcity and insecurity to meet your next boyfriend, your next girlfriend, then if you go with scarcity and neediness, that's the moment you don't find the right person.
Yeah.
Because you come from this scarce position, right?
Yeah, and I feel like also like it's funny enough, like we as guys, I feel like women, they teach you that the best. You know, because at the gym you don't really get taught like scarcity versus abundance, you know. But in dating, it's direct feedback, you know. When I was younger, also, I got too needy, she didn't text back. I was like, oh, what happened here? And you get direct feedback. So I think as a young man, also as a woman, of course, but I think it happens more to guys. This is direct. I mean, it kind of like this whole dating thing. It's funny, like this whole dating thing prepared me for business, you know. Because when people don't text me back in business, I'm like, I've seen this so many times in dating. I don't even care. You know what I mean? I've seen this.
So you're getting ghosted also in business is not a problem.
Exactly. And vice versa. The better I became in myself, the better I became in conversations with women or just with people in general. Because in sales calls, you need to, you know, build rapport. You need to ask the right questions. You need to connect with people deeply before they buy. And I mean, in dating or in social situations, you're selling yourself. Do they like me or not? And I feel like also, if I look back at my life now at 27, I think like sales is one of the biggest skills you need to learn in life. So you can actually, you know, become,
200% agree. And sounds like you're opening another topic after another.
So, I'm on the flow, man. I'm good.
So yeah, I would love to talk a little about sales, and you know, it's something which I try to do and learn myself every day. One of my masters is Grant Cardone, the GC. Yeah, the Uncle G. So do you have any advice for us or somebody who's starting here the coaching business about sales?
Yeah, I always thought like with sales, you need to be like super pushy, like, buy now or you're a failure, blah, blah, you need to go into the pain. But the whole paradigm was wrong. My paradigm now is A lack of empathy cannot outperform the best sales script in the world. So if you don't have empathy for the person in the call, there's no way they're going to buy. Vice versa, sometimes I was stumbling in the call, but I just gave them the most empathy I was able to give, and they bought on the spot, And with my business, I need to take the money on the spot. So how it works is they come into the Zoom call, and at the end of the Zoom call, I collect the money, I need to get it, the money from the credit card, so it's a high level of skill set you need to have. But as soon as you master this, you realize so many things about human nature. And one thing is, if you don't have empathy for them, like they need to see that you understand their situation in and out. Because if you don't, they're not going to buy, because they think, oh, he just wants to fuck me over, then it's game over. Especially I sell stuff to women, especially with them, you need to be very empathetic and understand them, and just they need to feel that you want the best for them, but genuinely, if you're there for the money, they feel it 100%. If you're just there for the money, you feel it, which is counterintuitive.
So exactly, how do we build empathy? Somebody who has no idea what empathy is, or how do we get understood?
What I would say is, try to put yourself in the other person's shoes as best as you can. Like, one part is check their social cues. How fast are they talking? What to do with the eyes? Are they nervous? Something you can do if you are in a call with someone, just match their speed of talking. If someone is talking fast, mirror the speech, mirror the body language, and mirror the speech, so you can build rapport. Because why you need empathy is to build rapport. And by rapport, I mean people need to like you before they buy.
Yeah.
So you build that with empathy or with mirroring. And with empathy, the thing is, just put yourself in their shoes. Ask yourself, okay, what do they feel? Are they nervous? What are their dreams? And it takes a certain level, of course, of trial and error, especially if someone is introverted, not really empathetic. I think it takes some time. But I would say a good book is maybe Emotional Intelligence by Daniel, I think, what's his name? Daniel Goleman, Emotional Intelligence. Because I never read a book about empathy. I'm just gifted on that, in that part. But I think that would be good.
Awesome. So once the skill number one that helps you get the contract is empathy and get into your client's shoes.
Yeah, exactly. So first of all, they need to realize that you want the best for them. And then secondly is you need to build rapport. Thirdly, you need to ask the right question so you can dissect the situation. And then, of course, when you sell the program, you need to have the perfect solution for them, So I know my program is the best solution for them, but I sell it a little bit differently for every person. I got this also from Jordan Belfort. He does the same. Like he said, you need to sell your program a little bit differently for each person. Even if it's the same program. I mean, mine is always different because it's very individual. But if you know the program is the best for this individual person, you need to kind of tweak the pitch a little bit. I never do the same pitch for every person. Never. It doesn't work.
Yeah, of course, you put it different for every person, because they're looking for different things, and they are different.
Exactly. You ask the right questions, and then you will realize how to pitch it. But yeah, also come from a good place. When I pitch my program, I know it's going to change your life. So I do my best to pitch it perfectly. But if you sell bad things, don't do that.
So so the number one thing is to believe in what you sell.
Right? Yeah, I mean, number one thing. Yeah. I would say that's one thing. Yeah. So, for example, me back in the days, I also worked in other sales jobs, but I never believed in the product. I was like, I'm selling people bad stuff. So I would say, yeah, number one is that. Believe in the product. What I do when I'm in the calls with my potential clients is I just think about them in 10 years, and that they will be fat and unhealthy and depressed if I don't do anything. So this gives me the motivation to be the best in the call. And then, as I said before, empathy, rapport. It's different for every niche. For example, I'm in the fitness industry, so if you would sell a business program, you would first ask for the pain points and then the goals. But I ask the goals first and then the challenges, because in fitness, if you don't ask the goals first, they will sugarcoat the whole thing. I need to ask them first, how much you want to lose? Okay, 20 kilos. And then later on they say, yeah, I feel like just losing 10. I'm like, you just said 20 kilos before, you can create an easier contrast. So it depends which niche you are in, obviously. I would say just get a mentor, man. Just get a mentor that knows how to sell stuff from your niche, and then he will give you the right approach.
Awesome. So I know yourself, you invest a lot of your things in coaches and mentors, right?
Yeah.
that made you grow, and hundreds of books that you read in all your life, and that's great. Then probably we're gonna come to the books also later in one of the questions.
Yeah, so, please, man. Please.
Okay. All right. So let's go to for example the challenges of your clients. What are like the typical? Everybody's got another challenge, but what are the typical challenges of your clients?
I mean, self-belief is an obvious one. They think they cannot do it on their own. And then, when they do it alone, they start something, but always in the back of their mind, it's like, oh, I don't know if it's the right approach. And then when the smallest challenge comes, they just drop out, And when I'm there, I tell them, hey, that's normal that the weight, for example, for women, when they have the menstruation, it's normal that the weight fluctuates 1 kilo overnight. Don't be discouraged, Like the most conversations I have with my clients, a lot of these conversations is just like, yeah, I gained 1 kilo overnight. I'm like, are you on your period? She's like, yeah. I'm like, no big deal, just continue. Like, okay. And then they go and they're happy and, everything is fine. So that's one. And maybe also, what the right approach is for them, because we all have these myths, like, should I do low carb, carnivore, vegan, sugar, good, bad, artificial sweetener, good, bad. So I think this mental confusion is also a thing. Because as soon as people have clarity, it's not that difficult, you know what I mean? Just execute the plan. And that's it. So I think the big challenge is clarity, like a clear roadmap. Second is the accountability part. So that's when I come in, give them the self-belief. And third, it's also objective feedback, in a sense, okay, can you eat this now? Or how do you approach when you go out and have a drink? How do you eat? For example, with you, I would maybe talk about how do you eat with your wife and kid? How do you approach your diet there? And stuff like that. So the third one is objective feedback.
Okay, so clarity is one of the most important things. The belief in themselves, you said, and the roadmap, like where they're going.
Yep.
Okay, so this is like our viewers should consider it if they want to get in shape. First, they should believe in themselves.
Yeah.
And second, they should have clear where they're going. And third, get somebody that keep them accountable.
Same for me. Business also. I just prolonged my business mentoring with my coach. I was thinking maybe I can do it myself, but I rather invest the money, and you never know. Maybe I get 4 clients more or 5 clients more. You have like 10K more or something like that in the bank, just because you have some funders that you're accountable to. Because it's a compound effect. It's not like I take the business coach now for 6 months and then I just have 6 months of results. I have these 6 months of results that give me motivation for the next 6 months. For the next 6 months, it's like a huge ripple effect. Same with weight loss. If you take coaching with me, not just the 6 months with me, it's going to be like the 2 years after me, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 6 years. People don't realize that it's huge. Mentoring is huge. I always, I was watching Tai Lopez. I was like, yeah, mentoring sounds good. I just read the book of the person. No, like if you have the money, go to the person directly. I want to get the coaching with maybe you know him, Chris Voss.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, checked it out. It's like the seminar is $2,000. I'm gonna say as soon as the US is open again, man. I want to go to New York and talk to the guy.
Never split the difference.
Yeah, I love this, man. I love this.
Well, that was the last 6 months. That was my book. Like almost every day, reading the book, listening to the interviews. And that guy is amazing.
I love
How
him,
am I supposed to do that?
Yeah. Then he repeats the last 3 words of the things you said. That's just amazing. Yeah. By the way, I use the same thing in my coaching or like sales calls as well, like tactical empathy. Same
exactly.
Thing. Yeah.
The mirroring, tactical empathy.
Yeah.
Negotiation techniques. Yeah, that's true. And it's a collaboration.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. So losing weight, these are like the challenges. And what is your approach? Do you have like a specific diet or a direction, or what do you advise to your clients about food?
Specific. I don't really have a specific diet. I tell them before they start. I tell them, give me like an example day of your diet. Foods that you like, and then I also ask them at the same time, can you create your own meal plan if you would need to do your meal plan, just to see what food you like, what your meal timing is. Then I see that that's the things they send me, and I just improve that because they already gave me the food they like. I will see do they like tofu or chicken, are they vegetarian or not. So I just improve the diet they have already. because it saves them time and it also helps with new habits. It doesn't make sense to change everything at once, you know, it just creates confusion. You know what I mean? So everyone is a bit different. I have a client, for example, her name is Milena. She's eating with her boyfriend every Friday and Saturday. So what I told her is Sunday to Thursday, you can eat by the plan. We worked out together. And Friday, Saturday evening, you don't even track calories at all. You eat what you want, you know, drink wine, it doesn't matter. And she loses weight and she's super happy with the approach. For some other clients, I do something else. So it always depends on the life situation. And that's when most people fail. They fail because most people just take a plan from the internet and they think, okay, I need to do it exactly like this, intermittent fasting or some low carb stuff. And they, you know, then they manage their life around their food instead the other way around, you know, because the approach needs to work for the next 5 to 10 years, not for just the next 2 months.
Right, because that's one of also one of my challenges, because before creating my family, of course I had much time for myself, and I used to have like a really good schedule. I used to do intermittent fasting and everything. So now things change. So now I need to create other routines, right?
Yep.
So yep. I need like to know how much calories are coming in, how much calories are going out. So how do you deal with that? Like, do you advise to count calories or what?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the thing is this. It's a little bit counterintuitive, but every one of my clients needs to count the calories in the beginning. Why? Because it just gives you this calorie awareness on one side, and on the other side, it will also help you later on to eat intuitively. Because what most people do is they want to eat intuitively before they know the calories, but it's not possible because your brain is made to make you fat. You know, your brain is evolutionary made to crave fat and sugar and salt, you know, especially at the same time, and these high calorie foods. So first you need to check all your calories just to see, okay, how many calories am I actually eating to get this awareness. The cool thing is after 3 to 6 months, you don't need to do it anymore because it's in your system, but you need to put in the work first in the beginning. And then later on, you don't need to do it anymore. Like I tracked calories for over, I think 6 or 7 years, something like that. And now I'm not tracking anymore because I can exactly tell almost how much I'm eating. I can look at the plate and I know, just because of all the tracking. And I realized calorie tracking is like every other skill. In the beginning, you make huge progress, and then the progress, you know, that it flattens out. If this screen would be 100% of the skill, it does this, and then, you know, it kind of flattens out, that you never reach 100%. And after 6 months with me, my clients maybe get to 80%, and the last 20% that I did, they don't need to get to that skill level. You know what I mean? Their goal is not to be a fitness model or something like that. So they do that in the beginning. And then, after 6 months, they know how to do it themselves. Then I don't give them some mindset work every week. Actually, today I have a call with them. And that's basically it. But the thing is, no one really wants to teach that because it's not like, you know, in the fitness industry, you can make the most money the fastest if you give people the magic pill. You know, if you give them the magic pill, I don't eat carbs. You know, do this fitness challenge. I hate fitness challenges. Like do this 30-day fitness challenge, do this detox diet. That's how you make the most money in the fitness industry. But I could not do that because it's morally not good. And, you know, I want to create like a legacy of healthy people that are self-sufficient. And to be self-sufficient, you need to put in the work. My program is not for lazy people or people that are not into that stuff. But if most of the people that are with me, they just want to reach the fullest potential and they want to put in the work. And as soon as you put in the work, especially in this area, it's beautiful. Because imagine if a girl comes to me or a guy, 20 kilo overweight, and they always thought, it's impossible to lose that weight. And my last resort is Coach Charles. And they come to me and they lose 20 kilos in 6 months. And then they realize, oh man, I thought losing these 20 kilos would be so difficult. And I would need to become this amazing person to do that. But actually, I just gave them some input and they did it in 6 months. They lost 20 kilos. And then they will automatically ask themselves, what can I achieve now after I lost 20 kilos? You know, maybe the woman or the guy or the man, the guy or the girl was single, and they think, oh, maybe I can attract my dream partner now. You know, they level up in other areas of life. Because for me, it was exactly this. I leveled up in the fitness niche, in the fitness life area. Then I leveled up in my relationships, and then I leveled up in business. You know what I mean? With me, it started with fitness and nutrition. And I think for most people, it starts as well with fitness and nutrition because I would say it's almost the easiest out of them three. You know what I mean? It's almost like it's more of a science, if you see it like that.
Okay, so what's the magic of Coach Charles?
The magic. I don't think like I'm magic, man. I think I care the most about my clients from all the coaches, I would say. That's maybe my magic,
Okay, so
and
so
then they
you think they feel and they execute, or what's the
yeah,
secret?
like I think there's a big. I've read a book once by also I think Daniel Coleman. Oh no, Daniel Coyle. It's called The Culture Code,
Mhm.
and it talks about how to create strong cultures in your business, at your work, in your relationships. And I use that book. I use that book like intuitively in my coaching, but now I use it even more. And just have this strong group mindset, this strong, how to say that, connection with my whole coaching group. They know each other, almost personally, and it just helps them to reach their goals easier, because if they know, for example, if women, if that's important, if they know other women in their area that have the same goals, do the same things, it's super easy for them to stick through it. Especially for guys a little bit less, but especially for women, it's important to have this community. And I think that I have this community, and sometimes with my clients a little bit of inside jokes about books, and I also recommend them my books. Like some of my girls, they read Viktor Frankl, recently. I was talking openly about that. I was talking about how I deal with the passing of my mom, also like what kind of mindsets I used. And I gave them they were like, whoa, I also want to use that, Stoic philosophy and Viktor Frankl. And just this, I think the combination that I originally studied psychology, plus my personal development passion, plus the weight loss thing, plus the fact that I had anorexia as well. I think this whole mix makes it a very like special experience for them.
Mhm. So probably they also trust in you because of your authenticity and because you're putting your real self out there. Can that be
I think you
something?
pinpointed, yeah, for sure, for sure. For example, also if someone is not happy with my coaching, it never happened before, but I refund them the whole money. That can be 6 months with me. They say I'm not happy, you can have the money back. You know what I mean? Like it's just, I don't know. Especially, they realize I have their best in mind. You know, I think that's probably also that.
That's amazing, man. I mean, so if you make them happy and you make them reach results, that's what counts, right?
Yeah, man, for sure. I mean, I go so far. Even if I know one of their dads has his birthday or is in the hospital, I'm gonna send them a message at 2 a.m. and I don't mind. You know what I mean? It's just like it's almost family to me.
Mhm.
I think that's also why they reach their goals, because they know I have their back. They have my back. It's beautiful.
Mhm. So yeah, you mentioned it's something that also I saw in our previous interview. You were talking about the Stoic philosophy.
Oh yeah. Oh
I
yeah.
mean, I've heard about it. I heard about it. I know just a little in the surface, but would you mind to tell us a little more about the Stoic philosophy for our views?
Yeah. It's gonna be a 2-hour podcast, man, for sure. So good example. I give you a good example. My mother, she passed away almost 1 month ago. And I was always reading like Stoic philosophy because I knew life will give me some hard stuff I need to deal with, you know. And Marcus Aurelius, for example, he said that, oh yeah, he was saying something like, how do you know that you're ready for a challenge in life? And how you know is the challenge appears, you know. So when my mother passed away, I was like, I wish I would not be ready, but I was ready. So I knew, okay, now is the time to actually, see what my character is really made of. Because the second quote by Marcus Aurelius is, "Be grateful for the hard times, because that's when you can see your true character." Do you buckle down, or do you just follow through it? And what do you do with the challenges? So then I realized, okay, this is like a test of the universe from me. Will I be like negative, or I was actually very curious how will react. So what I did then is I went back to Switzerland the next day. I organized a whole funeral with my dad. I had a speech at my mother's funeral. I was like really like, I was not crying. I was just okay. I need to get this over with. We need to like be sad. I mean, I cried before, but we need to be the man here and show people what I'm really made of. Because I was like, if other people see how strong I take the situation, they will see what kind of man my mom, like raised, also did it for her kind of. And without these stoic like mindsets, I would have never been able to, because it really puts these things into context. And the really funny thing is, I broke up with my ex-girlfriend on Monday, and on Friday my mom dies. So I was like, come on, man. I wish I would not be ready, but I am ready. Bring it on. So my mom died on Friday, Saturday. I just cried a lot, but then I was like, man, bring it on, man. Bring it. I'm ready. I want to see. Just watch me. I thought myself, just everyone watch me. Everyone should watch me right now. So also I did my first TED talk the same week, and stuff like that. I was like, just watch me, guys. No problem, man. No problem. So this is what Stoic philosophy says. Like if stuff happens to you, you should be grateful, because you will see what kind of character you're made of, and you can, that's how you grow in life, through challenge. And Friedrich Nietzsche said the same, like if you have a why, you will bear anyhow, Jordan Peterson the same, if you give meaning to your suffering, you will overcome every suffering. Also what Viktor Frankl says. So all these philosophers and Stoics and the psychologists, a lot of psychologists, they say the same. What I'm asking myself is, why do they say the same? Because it's probably the mindset that gives you the most resilience in life. It's the Stoic philosophy. And something Stoic philosophy also says, which I was really happy that I knew. I was reading the essay by Seneca. It's called About the Shortness of Life. And he also says, life is not short. Most people think it's short because they don't use their time wisely. So what he says is, most people are greedy with their money. They want to keep their money. They're afraid to lose it. They don't want to invest and all these things. But money, you always know how much you have left, and you always know how much you spend. You can always get it back. You know what I mean? Money you can always get back. But time, you don't know how much you have left. You can never get it back. And with time, no one is greedy. Negative relationship, 2 years here. One thing I did after I read that book is, I was like, I want to learn Spanish. Let's go to Colombia. But maybe I go next year, I thought. And I was like, man, you know what? Nah, I need to go this year. And I went to Colombia, 2015, learned Spanish. Same with coming to Poland. Then I traveled the world for 2 months in 2019. What happened half a year later? The beer bug, the virus came, and then everything was closed. I was like, I'm so happy I was reading that book. You know what I mean? So same with my mother as well. I knew one day she will not be here anymore. I didn't know it's going to be this year, but I knew. So what I did almost every month, I told my mom, hey, thank you so much for everything you did for me. I'm so grateful. Look, I'm living my dream life and everything. And, even in February, remember me and her cried on the phone. We were so grateful for each other. So when she passed, I was like, there was nothing unsaid. Nothing unsaid, man. It had to be like this. Nothing unsaid. And she always told me like that I'm like her life purpose, because I'm an only child. And because I'm if people know my story, I'm born with a club foot. I had anorexia. I know I had some challenges. And my mom always thought it's because of her. It's like her fault. And now I'm just so happy that she saw my business. She saw me in the newspaper. I was in 3 different newspapers. And she knew that April was the best month of my business ever. And she passed on the 30th of April. She passed off the last day of the best month in April. And she saw everything. She saw it. So I'm like, maybe people pass when they fulfill their life purpose, and she maybe fulfilled her life purpose, and she was able to go. So that's kind of how I'm able to deal with hard situations, just with looking through this stoic lens. Because funny enough, the most famous Stoics were a slave. I think Epictetus was a slave. Marcus Aurelius was the most powerful man in the world back then, the emperor of Rome, and Seneca was also like a philosopher or a rich guy, I don't really remember. But all of these 3 guys were like exceptional people, and they all had the same mindset, And to this day, most businessmen, really successful business people, they use like these Stoic philosophies, and we still read these books. So I think it's a book, some of the Stoic books everyone should read.
All right. So the titles you said them during your speech.
During my rant, yeah.
Thanks for sharing also the story of your mom. Obviously, I saw it on social media, and I can relate to this situation. First, when I lost a cousin, he was 29 in 2016. Yeah. And I found myself in the same situation where that was a challenge, right? But I was ready. I was suffering. I lost, because he was more like a brother than a cousin. We used to stay together, joke, and the same, it came like this challenge. He had an accident, and then somebody had to take care of things. Yeah. It was a time to be the man of the situation, organize. And like, how do you say, accompany him or give him the best salute before. He passed after he passed to the other life, right? And also with my mother this year, I lost also my mom in January. And I had to be ready. So it's just, I totally agree with the Stoic. You never know when the challenge is going to show up, right?
The thing is this: how also rationalize the passing of my mother is, my mom was always very protective of me. Like she always felt like her little son, her little boy, and stuff like that. And I think subconsciously she was always afraid that I will not really reach my manhood because she was afraid, blah, blah, blah. And maybe now that she passed, because there's this, have you heard of the book Robert Bly, the Iron John?
I don't know that one.
It's a book that talks about masculinity, and it talks about the little story of a boy. And in this fictional story, the boy needs to let out his wild man to become like a true man, right? And the wild man is symbolized by like a wild man in a cage, like a monster / a guy in a cage. And the little kid lives in a castle, and he needs to let out this guy to become a real man, because then the guy will take him to the woods and initiate him. So where is the key for the golden key for the cage? It's under the pillow of the mother. You know what I mean? So you need to steal the key from the mother before you can become a real man. So as soon as my mother passed, I was like, okay, man, now I'm an adult, now I'm a man. I feel like this because I have my business now, I'm fulfilling my purpose in life. And it's sad, it's kind of sad, but of course, you never know what happens after life. I think it makes sense. Like Steve Jobs says, you can just connect the dots looking backwards and looking forwards. Even if it doesn't make sense, let's say after death, you're just dead, like when you go to sleep, you're just unconscious. I mean, even if it's like that, I want to have beliefs that serve me in life. You know what I mean? And this belief system I have right now with the Stoic philosophy is so strong. No matter what happens to me, I could lose my whole money tomorrow. I would just become stronger. You know what I mean? Like, there's no way I'm going to make double the amount of money in 2 years or 1 year, whatever. You know what I mean? It's just makes sense. This whole Stoic philosophy makes sense, and that's what's so beautiful about it.
Awesome. So I would advise also to all the viewers that are watching this interview right now. So awesome. So let's go talking about books. One of the questions that I have usually from our guests is, what are your 3 favorite books?
That's a good question, man. So just for the record, it always depends who you ask this, because if the person has just read like 20 books and gives them his top 3 books, it's something else. I've read, I think, over 350, 400 books probably so far, maybe more. I don't really remember. I would say my top 3 are always the same, mostly the same. It's Tony Robbins, Unlimited Power, Awake the Giant Within, because it's one of the first books I've read. It's like insane value, insane. And funny enough, every time I read that book, I get new stuff out of it. When he talks about like where focus goes, energy flows. And when I was younger, I was like, okay, whatever. But now I'm like, oh man, it makes so much sense. You know what I mean? It's kind of funny. And then secondly, it's of course Eckhart Tolle. He introduced me to the whole spirituality thing. I saw him also live once with my mother in 2015. It was kind of a cool experience. And then what's the third one was, of course, Viktor Frankl also, Man's Search for Meaning. This is like insane.
Awesome. So let's put him on the list. People get this. I mean, I know the first 2, but Viktor Frankl, I still have to read it.
Oh man, also, yeah, please.
Mentioned it also in our last interview, but I still didn't manage to read it. And everybody's like, is advising it. So probably one I should have.
Yeah, it's insane. It's insane. Yeah, I still remember when I read it the first time, November 2014. You never forget, man. It's insane.
This podcast is called The Stairway to Excellence. Yeah. How would you describe the Stairway to Excellence?
Oh man, that's a good, I mean, for example, my criteria for success is I can do whatever I want, when I want, with who I want. You know what I mean? That's my success, without, of course, hurting anyone and stuff like that. To be sure, that's my success criteria. So Stairway to Excellence is just I would say define what success is for you, and just go out there and get it. You know what I mean? Like don't sugarcoat it. Get a mentor if you can. Just work hard. And also, I would say the thing is this: like I'm reading. Do you know Timothy S. Grover?
Yeah.
Or Grover?
Yes.
He wrote a new book. It's called Winning.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I'm reading it on Audible. I'm listening to it for the 3rd time in a row. And, I also always said, enjoy the journey, blah, blah, blah. But he's like straight to the point. He's like, if you don't like the outcome, why should you enjoy the journey anyway, So I'm saying the same, like, look for an outcome that really drives you deeply. And then, because the journey will be hard anyway, you will suffer on the journey anyway. It's also what Jordan Peterson says, like, you need to find a journey that is worth suffering for, So find what you want to do, find a mentor, find someone that has it, pay him if you can to mentor you, and then just go there and, go and get it. And that's funny enough, as soon as you get it, you want the next thing. So I feel like the Stairway to Excellence, it never ends, You never get to 100%.
Uh-huh. I agree with the things like life shouldn't be only the journey, you know, because I mean, you get on a plane to go somewhere, right? It's not only like to
Yeah,
go around on a plane. You have a
yeah,
destination.
yeah, yeah,
And if
yeah,
we don't have destinations, we're not gonna build anything. So
yeah, yeah.
I agree on that. And then
Yeah, but the thing is this, what I realized from my life is as soon as you have the destination, you have something you really want to do, it can happen very fast. For me, it happened in like time span of less than a year. You know what I mean? It can happen very fast.
awesome. I have some more questions, but if people want to work with you, where can they
Mm-hmm.
find you at best?
You know, they can find me almost everywhere, I think. Facebook, type in the name you see here. It can be complicated, Charles Rüffieux. On Instagram, I'm very active on Instagram. It's coach.charles.official. On YouTube, it's also Coach Charles. On LinkedIn, I'm also on LinkedIn. So I think you can find me anywhere, everywhere. And also,
Oh,
otherwise, you can find me in Poland for sure.
yes, yes. In Poznan, you can find Coach Charles,
Yeah, you will
but
see
we
me
will
for
put
sure.
all the links also on the screen and also on the
Mm-hmm.
description.
Yep.
And yeah, before we go on, I have also a couple questions because I did like the post and I got some questions. For example, this one is from
Nice.
Instagram
Mm-hmm.
and from Anthony. And the question is, how do I lose some belly fat? I am mostly satisfied with my body, but I have a belly. What should
Yeah.
I do to get rid of it?
Yeah. So we cannot lose fat at a specific point. You need to lose fat overall, and then over time you will lose fat on the belly. It depends on your hormone levels. For example, most women have more fat on the thighs because of the estrogen, and because of the testosterone, you have more fat on the belly. So keep losing body fat. Also, like build some muscle on the side. So I would say eat more protein. I don't know how much you weigh, but between 1.6 grams to 2 grams per kg body weight. So if you weigh like 80 kilos, you know, eat like 150 grams of protein, and then just be in a calorie deficit for long enough, train hard, and then you should be able to lose that belly fat step by step. But also a little bit of a disclaimer: most guys, especially women less, but guys, they underestimate how much they need to lose. If a guy tells me I need to lose 6 kilos, you can almost be sure you can double it. So just take the weight you think you need to lose and double or triple it, and then that's your target.
Aha, okay.
Yeah.
So it reminds me of the 10x of Grant Cardone.
Yeah, 10x it. Like instead of 4, like 40 kilo. Just 10x that stuff.
Exactly,
10x it.
exactly.
10x it.
So, all right, this one is from my wife, Martina.
Oh, nice.
She says, how can I find the one thing that gives me a little more satisfaction in the moment instead of eating the whole box of biscuits or the second box of, or the third box of biscuits? So how can I replace that craving
Yeah,
or
yeah, yeah.
that need?
That really interesting studies that talk about this, because it also matters what you eat before. There were studies like if you eat, for example, if you eat your food watching television, your brain doesn't really realize how many calories you ate, and then the next meal you will overeat. You know, so people that eat breakfast in front of the TV, the next meal they automatically eat more, even if the next meal is not eaten in front of a TV. You know, so it's like a lifestyle thing. What I would do in your case, Martina, is also eat more protein during the day, because more protein keeps you more satiated and also more satisfied. So just increase your protein intake. You know, if you eat, does she eat meat or is she vegetarian?
Everything.
Oh, good stuff. Yeah, so eat a lot of meat, you know, to your main meals. Eat some low-fat dairy products with a lot of protein in the morning, and also see what happens then later during the day. One little thing you can do is have some challenge, you know, with your husband. What I did with my ex-girlfriend, by the way, I wanted to quit coffee. I told her every time I drink a coffee, I need to give you $20. And I never drank coffee ever again since then, together with her, just some cheat days. You know, that also helps if you're very like, you know, want to go hard with it. All other things, remove the stimuli, you know, remove the cookies, just have like 2 cookies ready to eat. This would be a thing. Fourth thing, also realize, why are you eating the cookies? Is it always in front of the TV? Is it always at the same place? What emotions are you feeling? Is it emotional eating? If it's emotional eating, then you need to change the emotions first, you know, go out for a walk, you know, ask Erid, you know, play with your kid, whatever it is. But also check, is it emotional eating, yes or no? That would also be good to know. So it's hard to know without knowing her situation. But to summarize, eat more protein. I think that's the thing, more protein and veggies. Have like a challenge with your husband or someone else that will force you to pay something. Something else, but I feel like money is an easy emotional trigger. And then third, check if it's emotional eating, yes or no.
Well, I'm about to get rich, man.
Yeah, good. I mean, good for you. Good for you. Good for you. By the way, cool story also here, really quick. One of my best friends, he's an accountant in Switzerland. Very successful businessman. He's on the way to make. I think he already made his first million. I think he made it, and he's very successful. And what he did with his girlfriend is, he told her if he touches his phone in the bed, he needs to give her 200 Swiss francs. So what he did is he had a letter. He put the 200 Swiss francs there with like a contract, signed, and gave it to her. He never touched his phone in the bed.
So it never happened since they did this challenge.
Mm-hmm. Yep, never happened. For me as well, never happened.
Awesome, man. That's a great challenge.
Yeah, because you're still primitive people, You need to go to the reptilian brain.
Yes, that's true. So the next question is from my LinkedIn account from Nicholas. And Nicholas says, how many times a week should I train for me to eat everything I like? I work for many hours on my business and I don't have that much time.
So he wants to out-train a bad diet. That's what he says.
Yeah, so he said, in order to eat for me what I like, how many times should I train?
Oh man, it's like saying how much money do I need to earn to buy what I want. I'm like, what do you want? Like Gucci, Rolex, Versace hat, or some normal sneakers? I don't know, man. I don't know. But the thing is this: you cannot burn that many calories with sports. That's what most people think. Even if you're a big guy, like for example, we go to the gym. I burn in 1 hour of gym. I burn maybe 120, 150 calories. 2 hours, maybe 300 calories. And you can eat 200 calories very easily, like three big cookies, and it's gone. So if you're a guy, you don't have that much time. I like intermittent fasting because it gives you some leeway in the evening. But I would still start to track your calories, so then it would be easier to incorporate stuff you like in your diet without having a bad conscience. Because without tracking calories, it's going to be a little bit harder. And also with calories, the same. Like, let's say I tell you, like this guy, I tell him maybe, okay, to lose weight or maybe to maintain your weight, you need 2,600 calories. It doesn't mean that you need to eat at 2,600 calories every day. It means that on average for the week, you should eat 2,600 calories. What you could do is on the weekends, you could just eat 3,600 every day, like 2,000 calories extra. And then in all the 5 days, you eat 400 calories less each day. So Monday to Friday, 2,200, and then Saturday, Sunday, 500 extra each. So 3,100. And it's the same outcome, but you probably feel better because your life quality will be better. You know what I mean? And you will stick to the plan longer as well.
Yes. So I hope this is satisfying for you, Nicholas. And
otherwise, send me DM, man. Does he speak German or English?
That is in English.
English, okay.
In English. All right. So before we wrap it up, I was also really interested to hear about the Tedx speaking gig. How did it happen, and how did you prepare for that?
Yeah, man, I would love to say I prepared so long. Oh man, it was funny. One of my clients, shout out to Sarah, dear Sarah, she told me to go. That's what I mean before, like this whole, we want each other to succeed. So he told me, hey, go there, tell your story. And I just sent them a video. Hey, that's my story, blah, blah, blah. And then they said, yeah, you can come. Because I was not able, I would have been able, but I didn't want to go to Switzerland at that time. So I recorded in a hotel room in Poland. It was Wednesday. So I was talking about how to overcome challenges in your life. I was talking about basically the STOIC philosophy a little bit, So a month, I was using the examples of breakups because I broke up with my ex on Monday. So I was talking about, breakups are the best example. 2 days later, my mother died. So what I did is I didn't finish to edit the video till Saturday. So then at the end, when my mother passed away, I just devoted it to my mother, put a picture of her in there and stuff. It sounds harsh, but it just, it's almost like the TED Talk helped me to go through that stuff. So I was like, I need to follow that TED Talk by example. And it talks about things I said before, but more about what Tony Robbins says. Tony Robbins says you need to ask the right questions in life to increase your life quality. So if something bad happens, most people ask themselves, why me, blah, blah, or if your mom dies, why her, why now, blah, blah, blah. What I ask myself is, why does it make sense right now? Why does it make sense? How can I grow right now? What can I take from it? what can take for me that will help me grow right now? Or when you have some breakup, you can ask yourself, why is this the best thing that ever happened to me, the breakup? You know, for me, it has been, because after the breakup, I started dating again. And of course, 1 month later, I'm dating a girl. I was visualizing 2 years ago, I had an Instagram folder with some girls that I wanted to have as girlfriends, and you know, she looks like one of them after 2 years after visualizing. Why? Because after the breakup, I was like, why is this the best thing that ever happened to me? Boom, because of this. So you need to ask the right questions in life to have this inner resilience. If you just ask yourself, okay, why is life so hard? I'm a failure. Why am I a failure? Blah, blah, blah. It creates a whole different life, you know? So you start with the questions, and then your life path will follow. So I was talking about this, and it's also stoic mindset at the same time, because of course Tony Robbins also talks some stuff probably from Stoic philosophy.
Awesome. So talking about the technical side of it, do you have any advice about public speaking and how to get yourself on video? That, I mean, today it's a great thing, right, to be on social media and be on YouTube on video. I mean, it's a must if you want to have a business, right? So what advice do you have for people?
I'm so glad I started YouTube.
So what advice do you have for people that have a challenge to start talking in public speaking?
Yeah, you mean in video or in front of an audience?
I mean, for example, for me, it's when I see people, it's almost the same challenge, video or to a public, like public speaking.
Yeah,
I see that people have the same challenge, or is the same emotion.
Yeah, I need to be honest. I'm really harsh, but I'm not sugarcoating it. No one cares about you. No one cares. Even people don't really care about me as well when I post a video. You know, even Erid, you are one of my, I would say a really good friend of mine. Even you maybe watch one of my videos for 1 minute, 30 seconds. You're like, I have all the things to do, and you click away. So, and the people that watch the whole thing, they really care about your content. So it's not even about you. It's more about the content. So people always think they're so like important. I get people like, as soon as I start a YouTube channel, I will have hundreds of subscribers. I'm like, no one cares, man. No one cares. Do you know what I mean? So if you come from that mindset, no one cares. It's more about the content, the value you bring. And plus you need some practice as well. Then it's going to be easier. It's going to be easier. But one thing you can do, for example, for videos is when I started my channel in 2016, I told myself there's no way I'm allowed to have a lot of subscribers before I have 100 videos, because it probably takes me 100 videos to get to a certain skill level. So yeah, I just pumped out the first 100 videos, I think in 7 months or something like that. Every second day I had a video up, and after 100 videos, you know what I mean? It's a whole different ball game. Now when I have a camera, one thing I will do in Poland is I bought a new like a gimbal. So I want to record videos walking in public, because I'm not really challenged anymore by recording videos in my room. It's boring. Why did I get to that point? Because of practice. Always practice. But I think the overall mindset should be no one cares about you. Then you're less nervous as well. People don't judge. How much time do you think about other people when you go through your day? Maybe 1%, whatever it is.
So losing fear of judgment of other people in that, like, as you say, with the mindset, people not going to care because they are busy with this stuff.
Yeah. Everyone is busy. Yeah. Except my mom, I think, watched all my videos. She watched always all of my videos. But otherwise, other than your mom, no one will probably.
Got it. Yeah. And then second point, be prepared. Like practice, so you get familiar with it, right?
I need to be honest, I'm the worst example, because I'm a very creative and outgoing person. So even for my TED talk, I wasn't really preparing that much. I had like three bullet points. Because I knew it's going to be also the vibe, they care about the vibe. Because of doing like over 300 YouTube videos, I realized my best YouTube videos were always the videos when I was the most engaged, like emotionally. The videos I prepared the most, they didn't like it that much.
Too technical.
Too dry.
And
Too dry. Yeah. I think like
awesome.
Show personal stories. It's like show some authenticity, and you should be fine.
So okay, another tip is to show authenticity on video and also the public speaking.
Yeah, one thing I did during my first public speeches, actually, or to this day, sometimes I just say I'm nervous right now. I'm nervous, blah blah blah. I have sexy red cheeks. I'm nervous, blah blah blah. And they were like, they all laugh, and then it's fine.
Okay, so you recognize that let's say if you're shy or you're nervous, you recognize it. When you talk about it, it's like you kind of bring it down.
Yeah, people love congruence. Love congruence. You know, as soon as you say you're nervous or something, they realize, oh yeah, he's honest. You know, they love that. They love that. As soon as you start to pretend someone you're not, that's when people like don't like it.
Because it's incongruent, right? Because you try
Yeah,
to
for sure.
like show yourself confident, but they feel the vibe, and something's.
Even in dating, when you go out or approach some women and you try to be James. I'm not naturally James Bond, man. I'm a little dork. You know what I mean? Maybe I look good because of my body, but normally I'm a dork. So I'm going to talk talk some serious stuff. And it's the best because they're like, oh, I like this guy. He's funny, Because if it doesn't work in the first 2 minutes, it's not going to work for the next 20 years. You know what I mean? It's always the same. People appreciate authenticity and congruence. If you try to be someone you're not, that's why I have I have to this day, funny enough, I don't do English videos anymore, but I have some hardcore fans from 5 years ago that still text me. Why? Because I was always from the start like super authentic. You can have some hardcore, die-hard fans, if you are really authentic in your video, social media, whatever you do.
Okay, so I mean, you're still young, but what would be your advice to your 20-year-old self?
Yeah, but we don't know if I'm still young. If I die in 3 years, I may be older than most people. You know what I mean? You never know.
Yes, you never know.
Yeah.
It's always
You never
everything relative.
Yeah, I know what I mean. No, to be fair now, yeah, but advice to my 20-year-old self.
Yeah.
I mean, to my personal 20-year-old self, I won't really give specific advice because I love the place where I'm in now, and I think everything makes sense. But someone else maybe, right? Let's say people watching. Oh man, I would maybe realize the importance of time and really try to invest money to save time. Find mentors. If you don't know what you want to do, you need, like, for example, one of my best friends, Crispin, he's 21, and I told him, you don't know your purpose yet, but your purpose should be to find your purpose. Go out there and try different things, read books, just find ways to save time and become smarter. Because as a 20-year-old, let's be honest, even for me now, but as a 20-year-old, your thoughts are really dumb. You are, I don't care how high your IQ is, you maybe mostly care about this and that. And if you are a 20-year-old guy, you mostly care about girls. If you're a girl, you care about guys. So your thoughts are mostly like very dumb, and you need to put the good thoughts into your brain, with mentors, books, YouTube videos. Go out there and just get to know yourself. Also do personality tests. What are your strengths? Because my business and my life is better. I realized I'm very emotional. I'm a very empathetic person, especially as a guy. I love fitness. I love nutrition. I had anorexia. What can I do with that? With these 5 strengths of mine. Oh, wait, coaching. I'm very empathetic, coaching women. You know what I mean? I had an eating disorder, coaching women. You know what I mean? So I had to have a YouTube channel, so maybe I can do something with that also. Online business. I love freedom, online business. So I would say get to know yourself first, then know what you want to do. If you don't know that, try different stuff, get a mentor. And I would even say have same mindsets in your head at the same time. Because when I was 20, people always told me, you have time, don't worry, you have time, blah, blah, blah. And I was always like, no, I don't, I need to do this. And now looking back, I'm like, I know where they came from. They were right. I still have time, but I'm glad I had this crazy mindset that I need to do stuff. Otherwise I would not be here, would have taken too much time. So I feel like you should think this, both things at the same time, like start today, books today, try to find a mentor today. But as soon as you start, you need to be patient. I don't know how Ty Lopez had a term for that. I think also Gary Vaynerchuk or so. I think they say you need to be, I think, impatiently patient. Most people are patiently impatient. They want to change their life, they want to lose weight, but they just, they start like next year, they wait 5 years. And as soon as they start, they're very impatient. Like, I need to see results in 2 weeks, otherwise I stop. You need to be the opposite. You need to be, I don't know what to say first, patiently impatient. So what you do is, you want to change your life, bam, you start today. As soon as you start today, you take your time, but you need to start today. You know what I mean? It's the same with as soon, best example, I had my breakup 1 month ago. What did I do? Bam, I started dating immediately. The same day. It's crazy. People will think like, you need to be sad first. No, you don't. I can about my last relationship while dating. You know what I mean? Like, why should I wait 2-3 months? You know, even after my mom died, like, why should I wait a week to start working again? I had the same day I worked. You know what I mean? Why should I? I can grieve the same time. You know what I mean? So just start immediately the same day if you can. Speed of implementation, and just, you know, just be patient, and be patient to get the results, but don't be patient with the action. Do the action every day as much as you can. Get a mentor, and then you can be patient. If you do that, most people don't have the mindset. If you do that, you cannot even imagine how far you can go. When I was 20, I would have no idea that at 27 I will be here. You know what I mean? And I think in 8 years I will be like, I had no idea I could be there. You know, you have no idea, because the beliefs you have right now are based on the experiences you had 5, 10, 15 years ago. So you will have totally other beliefs in a couple of years from now. The beliefs I have about money now are totally different than even 1 year ago. So you cannot even imagine how far you can go. And that's the beauty, because it's the beauty of crushing your limits, because you get new limits. So I think that's a long answer, man.
Awesome. So to all the 20 years olds, the 30 years olds that they think still that they're 20, and also the 40 years old that they're still think they're 20.
Yeah, I need to be honest, like the only advantage you have as a 20-year-old is you have a lot of energy. So you should really take this to use. When I was 20, I was able to just sleep 4 hours, go to the gym the next day, you know, or study, party. Like now with 27, 28, it's a different ball game. And then with 35, it's the same. So don't forget that, you know, really don't forget that. In your 20s, I think in your 20s, as a girl and woman also, and especially as a guy, as a man, you need to take risks. If you don't do anything, that's the biggest risk you can take, you know. Like really do something with them. And I risked my whole finances, my whole career, but that's how you get far, man. That's how, because most people are not willing to do that. If you're willing to do that, I got fired from my last 2 jobs. You know what I mean? I was like, no, man, it's not for me. So it depends what kind of person you are. But if people watch this thing to the end, I think you are that kind of person. So you just need to pull the trigger. You know what I mean? Pull the trigger and go out there and get what you want.
Exactly. Who is watching till this point of the interview? Props to you.
Props to you, man.
On your journey, and we appreciate that you're watching this interview.
Yeah.
Also, okay, before we wrap it up, last question for Coach Charles. And by the way, once again, go check out Coach Charles at coachcharles.ch on Facebook, Instagram. Look for Coach Charles, and you're gonna find him everywhere. Or on Facebook, your personal account, Charlie Rüffieux.
Yeah, exactly.
And you can look for both of us. Exactly. Charles.
Yeah, Rüffieux. Please. Yeah,
Exactly. So, okay. So the last question is, did you have a good time?
Man, I love podcasts. It's my favorite activity in the world, man. I swear. I love this. You can tell. I could be here for 2 hours more.
Yeah, we can still really, we talk for hours. Really.
Yeah.
And I want to thank you one more time, brother, for sharing all your experience, your knowledge, and your professional tips and mindset stuff. That was amazing.
Oh, yeah, man. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you one more time, everybody, for watching us till this moment. And make sure to subscribe, like, share, and comment. You help us spread the word and the good stuff. And I'll see you in the next one. Thank you very much.
Peace out. Ciao.
Bye-bye.